One race changed everything. One surprise winner shook up the NASCAR Cup Series, and one post-race interview started a debate that nobody saw coming. Corey Heim walked into Naval Base Coronado hoping to prove he belonged. He walked out as a Cup Series winner. But while the celebration was still going on, people were already talking about something else. They were talking about Bubba Wallace's comments after the race, wondering if there was more behind his words than simple praise. Whether you agree or not, one thing became clear. San Diego was not just another race. It became the beginning of a story that could follow both drivers for a long time. The event itself was unlike anything NASCAR had ever done before. For the first time, the Cup Series raced on an active United States military base. Naval Base Coronado, just across the bay from San Diego, became home to a unique 3.44-mile, 16-turn street circuit. More than 50,000 fans packed the venue on race day, while over 125,000 attended during the entire weekend. Every corner of the track felt different, and every lap added more excitement. Before the green flag even dropped, there was a moment that almost seemed to predict what was coming. During driver introductions, several United States Navy service members walked on stage beside Corey Heim. Then they started tapping their wrists, copying Heim's famous victory celebration. At the time, it looked like a fun joke. By the end of the day, it felt almost like they had seen the future. Very few people expected Corey Heim to be the driver standing in victory lane. The reigning NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion was only making his 13th Cup Series start while driving part-time for **23. 11 *** racing during the 2026 season. He had already spent countless hours helping Toyota through testing and simulator work, showing just how much confidence the manufacturer had in him. Still, the Cup Series is a completely different challenge. Most people believed this weekend would simply be another learning experience. Shane Van Gisbergen started from the pole and looked like the clear favorite. Connor Zilisch was another major threat on the road course, while Tyler Reddick entered the weekend leading the championship standings. Corey Heim barely appeared on anyone's list of possible winners. The race started badly for Heim. After qualifying 13th, he quickly dropped back to 20th as the team used older tire sets that were never expected to perform well. Crew chief Booty Barker kept reminding him over the radio to stay patient because the better tires would come later. Heim trusted the plan, even though the car felt difficult to drive. After stage 2, he decided it was time to attack. Then the entire race changed in an instant. Austin Hill locked up his brakes entering turn 1 on a restart, crashed into Connor Zilisch, and both slammed hard into the outside wall. Shane Van Gisbergen had nowhere to escape and drove straight into the wreck, ending his race almost immediately. Afterward, Hill admitted, "That one's on me." Shane Van Gisbergen was far less calm, saying simply, "I'm filthy." 3 of the strongest contenders were suddenly out, opening the door for someone else to steal the spotlight. Tyler Reddick looked ready to take control from there. He managed the race perfectly until tire wear began slowing him down near the finish. Corey Heim, now finally on his best tires, closed the gap quickly. On lap 73, Reddick made one small mistake entering turn 2, and Heim wasted no time. They raced side by side, each refusing to give an inch. Reddick tried one last crossover move, brushed the outside wall, and made contact with his teammate before making a decision that earned respect across the garage. "I ran him straight in the wall," Reddick admitted later. "That wasn't right. I wasn't going to pass him for the win that way, especially a teammate." Moments later, a flat left front tire dropped Reddick far down the order, while Heim pulled away. After crossing the finish line, Corey Heim could barely believe what had happened. "I'm speechless," he said. "I couldn't believe it. We strapped another set of tires on and we were just fine. Hit the wall a couple of times and maybe knocked some good into the car. I have no idea." But for Corey Heim, the victory meant much more than simply winning a race. It was the ending to a story that had started 1 year earlier. In 2025, his first Cup Series road course attempt came at the Chicago street race, but his team failed to qualify. On what should have been his 22nd birthday celebration, he called it the worst birthday of all time. That disappointment stayed with him. Instead of forgetting it, he used it as motivation. Standing in victory lane at Naval Base Coronado, he could finally look back with a smile. "After stage 2, I just took a deep breath. I had high expectations coming into this race, even playing field for me. You don't see that every day for a young driver like myself. Just kinda took a deep breath, reset, and went after it. Then he added the words that showed just how emotional the moment really was. That's all full circle for me. Going from one street course just crushing my life to probably the best day of my life here a year later. Just funny how that works sometimes. Even Denny Hamlin admitted the result caught him by surprise. Really surprised. I mean, truthfully, really surprised, Hamlin said. Now, if you would have asked me in the middle of the race, I wouldn't have been that surprised. I got to race around him enough to know he had plenty of speed. Toyota executive Tyler Gibbs also pointed to Heim's careful development, saying, "He's going to have these opportunities, and he's made the most of it today." Then attention shifted toward Bubba Wallace. His day had been one of the strongest comeback drives of the season. After climbing to second place early, disaster struck when his right front wheel came off following a pit stop. NASCAR penalized the team, forcing Wallace to serve a 2-lap penalty. Most drivers would have seen their race end right there. Instead, Wallace fought back, earned 2 free passes during caution periods, returned to the lead lap, and somehow drove all the way back to second place, the best road course finish of his Cup Series career. Still, it was impossible to ignore what might have been. It's what if, Wallace admitted. Tired of living in that. He also made it clear that he respected what Heim had accomplished. My body language and facial expressions will not show it, but I am really excited for Corey and Booty getting him back to victory lane. Being a winner in the Cup Series is something that when we get there, we all want to achieve. And to be able to do that for him in his 13th start, it's pretty special. At the same time, Wallace spoke about how difficult it is for young drivers to succeed in the Cup Series and about managing expectations. Those comments quickly became a topic of debate among fans. Some heard them as honest advice from an experienced driver. Others believed they sounded like a challenge directed toward NASCAR's newest winner. Whatever Wallace intended, Heim appeared to hear the message, and many fans immediately began wondering if this was only the beginning of a new rivalry. As if the weekend had not already delivered enough drama, NASCAR announced more bad news just days later. Because of the loose wheel that ruined Wallace's race, rear tire changer Adam Hartman and Jackman Nathan Ricketts from the number 23 team were suspended for the next 2 Cup Series events. Wallace would now have to compete without 2 key pit crew members, just as the season entered one of its most important stretches. Across the championship picture, the pressure only continued to build. Tyler Reddick's points lead shrank dramatically. Shane Van Gisbergen left San Diego needing a victory to keep his playoff hopes alive, and **** 23. 11. ***. Racing showed incredible speed with all 4 of its cars running near the front before late race problems changed everything. Meanwhile, Corey Heim had already announced his arrival in the biggest possible way. At just 23 years old and only 13 Cup Series starts into his career, he was already a winner. Those Navy sailors who copied his watch celebration before the race almost seemed to know history was about to be made. One unforgettable afternoon changed the conversation around Corey Heim forever. And while fans continued debating Bubba Wallace's comments, one fact cannot be argued. The NASCAR season left San Diego with more questions than answers, more pressure than ever before, and storylines that are only getting bigger as the next race approaches.